If your wife no longer wants to have sex with you, it can feel like the bottom has dropped out of your marriage. Because for most men, sex is the primary way in which they feel loved, accepted, and connected. So in this video, we'll take an honest look at why wives often stop wanting sex with their husbands. Sometimes it's about you, sometimes it's about her, and sometimes it's about the dynamics between you. I'll talk about each of these areas, outlining the most common reasons intimacy breaks down, and most importantly, what you can do to get things back on track. Hi, I'm Laura, a relationship counsellor and coach in the UK. I help couples build relationships that feel alive, connected, and deeply fulfilling. If you're new to the channel, welcome. It's lovely to have you. What follows is a fairly long but not exhaustive list of reasons your wife might not want to have sex with you. Bear with me though, because I'll share some solutions to all of them at the end of the video. So let's start by looking at the situations where her lack of desire might be connected to you. Now, I know some of you will be thinking, oh great, here we go, it's always the man's fault. But this really isn't about blame, it's about being willing to look honestly at the whole picture so you don't stay stuck. Maybe you're already a great husband and have no part to play, in which case, good for you. But that's not the reality I see for most marriages. So for those of you who aren't already on your A game, here's a few areas you have some influence over. Number 1, she doesn't feel safe. Most women are wired to choose partners who demonstrate care, protection, and commitment, so trust is essential. If you lie, hide things from her, or if you're volatile, she won't feel safe and she'll distance herself from you over time. Number 2, she doesn't feel connected. I hear this all the time from women in troubled marriages, and it's a serious problem. He just won't talk about anything. If you struggle to engage in meaningful conversations with your wife, then she's going to feel invisible. Emotional connection is as important to her as sex is to you. Number 3, she doesn't feel liked. Maybe compliments, warmth, and affection have slipped away over the years. If frustration has turned into criticism or coldness, she won't feel liked. This is a zero-sum game because if she no longer feels liked by you, she won't want to be vulnerable with you. Number 4, she's not excited by you. Women are drawn to men who are comfortable in their own skin, purposeful and enjoyable to be around. If you've become bitter or lazy, or if you're too often not good company, then she's not going to be excited by you. Number 5, she feels smothered. If she feels you're constantly pushing for sex without offering romance, affection, or emotional reciprocity, it can feel suffocating rather than loving. What you see as persistence may come across as pressure, leaving her feeling cornered instead of desired. Number 6, she doesn't enjoy sex with you. This is a tough one to admit, but an easy one to fix. If sex has become mechanical, predictable, one-sided or disappointing, she may have developed strategies to avoid it altogether. Number 7, she feels you've checked out. Men often withdraw when a marriage becomes sexless. Maybe you still go through the motions but no longer invest in her happiness, well-being, or the relationship itself. If she senses you've emotionally abandoned the marriage, sex will be the last thing on her mind. Now, as I said, it's likely that it's not all on you, and maybe none of those reasons apply. So now let's explore what might be going on for her. Sometimes the real challenges come from what she's experiencing personally, in her body, her mind, her emotions, her lifestyle choices, or her past. Let's be clear here, for a woman to be firing right psychosexually, she needs to have herself in order, and this is no small task. These complexities can make sex difficult for her, even in an otherwise healthy marriage. So here are some things she might be struggling with. Number 1, she's struggling with hormones or health. Pregnancy, childbirth, breastfeeding, menopause, or even certain medications can destroy libido or make sex uncomfortable. These aren't character flaws, they're biological realities. Number 2, she feels bad about her body. If she doesn't like how she looks or feels in her own body, she may not want to share it sexually. Her avoidance may not be about you at all. It may be about her relationship with herself. Number 3, she's carrying trauma or sexual shame. Unhealed trauma, strict religious upbringings, issues related to her father or mother, or cultural shame around sex can affect how a woman views her body, her sexuality, even her feelings about you and intimacy. Even if she loves you and values the relationship, those old wounds or messages can make sex feel frightening, shameful, unsafe, or just bad. Number 4, she's overwhelmed by exhaustion and mental load. Balancing work, parenting, careers, family responsibilities, and household chores can be exhausting. If her brain is constantly running through to-do lists, then switching into a relaxed, sensual mindset can feel almost impossible. Number 5, she underestimates how important sex is to you. One of the most common disconnects in marriage is that many women underestimate how important sex is for men. Our culture often trivializes or even mocks male sexuality, so if wives internalize this narrative, they may fail to see how crucial sexual connection is to their husband's well-being. Number 6, she's lost touch with her own sexuality. Sometimes women stop wanting sex, not because of their husbands or even the relationship, but because they've become disconnected from their own sense of sexuality. Stress, parenting, or aging can make being sexy feel like a joke. Some women are damaged early doors and carry a psychosexual wound that only becomes known as a result of being in a long-term relationship. Either way, if she's not in touch with her sexuality, she'll struggle to bring that energy into the marriage. Number 7, she doesn't care about the marriage. As painful as it is to face, sometimes a wife has already given up. Even with a good husband who's trying, she may be emotionally shut down, disinterested, resentful, or simply wanting to just be left alone. In these complex cases, which would require serious analysis, it's perhaps less about sex and more about her having checked out of the relationship altogether. Sometimes it isn't about either of you as individuals, but rather about patterns or circumstances that have quietly impacted your relationship or created unhealthy dynamics over time. So here are some possibilities to consider. Number 1, the anger withdrawal cycle. The anger trap occurs when he feels rejected often. His frustration eventually turns into anger. She senses his resentment and withdraws further, and so a cycle begins. This can evolve to the point where who started it doesn't even matter, because the atmosphere makes sex an impossibility. Number 2, communication breakdown. If sex is off limits as a topic, both of you will end up making assumptions. He assumes she doesn't care, she assumes he just wants to get off. Neither is satisfied and resentment grows. The real issue here is one of miscommunication. Number 3, romance has disappeared. At the beginning, you probably both flirted, teased, and pursued one another. Over time, the pressures of life can make you feel more like roommates than lovers. For many men, romance starts to feel unnecessary, while for many women, sex begins to feel like a chore. Number 4, attachment dynamics. Anxiously attached men may use sex to seek reassurance, which can feel pressuring to women. Avoidantly attached women may withdraw from intimacy altogether. When these patterns collide, both can end up feeling misunderstood, rejected, or pressured. Number 5, everyday life takes over. Many couples simply don't prioritize their relationship. Screens, hobbies, kids, work, or even addictions all take precedence. Over time, conversations tend to focus on logistics and the deeper bond between you breaks down. Number 6, the myth of endless honeymoon desire. In the early stages of a relationship, desire often feels effortless, fueled by novelty, hormones, and excitement. But research shows that this natural spark declines over time for almost all couples, and this often causes a significant drop in sexual frequency. Number 7, when effort feels too hard. I often hear men say the effort required to bring intimacy back just isn't worth it. Some want the sex without the conversations, vulnerability, or changes that might be needed. Similarly, some women also decide they don't want to put in the effort anymore. She might want the stability of the marriage, but not the responsibility of nurturing intimacy. As you can see, the reasons can be deeply personal, relational, or circumstantial, but identifying them is only the first step. And I want to stress it's not your job to fix everything on your own. You can start the conversation, but real change requires both of you. The good news is that while the causes can be complex, there are practical steps you can take to rebuild intimacy and closeness. Number 1, own your part. If you see yourself in any of the patterns, acknowledge it and commit to making changes. At the same time, your partner also needs to reflect on how they may be contributing to the situation and commit to their own journey. Number 2, talk with curiosity. Have the courage to start a real conversation about what's going on for both of you. Ask her how she feels in her body, about her stress levels, if she feels her needs are being met. Listen without defensiveness and share your own feelings without blame. Interest and kindness from both sides is crucial here. Number 3, communicate what sex really means to you. Don't just say you need sex, explain that sex is about closeness, love, and connection with her, not just a physical release. Many women underestimate the importance of sex for men until it's spelled out. Number 4, work as a team. Creating a loving, fulfilling, and healthy relationship cannot be achieved alone. If hormones or health are involved, support each other in seeking medical help. If one of you is overwhelmed, rebalance your responsibilities together. If the romance has gone, co-create ways to bring it back. Plan dates, do something new, surprise each other with kind gestures. Number 5, be willing to do the work and ask if they are too. Sexual intimacy requires openness, vulnerability, and sustained effort from both partners. If either of you isn't prepared to engage in the process, or if one wants the relationship to continue without the sex, that really must be faced. Number 6, invest in yourselves. When both of you look after yourselves as individuals, you'll bring more energy, fun, and excitement back into the relationship. Look after your diet, lift weights, run, sleep well, check your hormones, and investigate medication side effects. Watching an empowered partner kick ass in every area of their life is a powerful aphrodisiac. Number 7, practice intentional intimacy. Many couples find that scheduling sex or practicing what I call sexual generosity helps reignite the spark. That requires showing up for one another with kindness, playfulness, and willingness. It also means increasing the amount of non-sexual touch throughout the day. When both partners make both physical touch and sex a priority in their marriage, desire often follows. Okay, that's a lot to digest, and I know I haven't covered everything. Personality disorders, infidelity, mental health conditions, screen addictions, or even simply being touched out with the kids hanging off her all day. The list goes on, but I've covered some important areas for you to consider and perhaps to work on. Remember, problems simply need to be identified and then worked on if we are to create fulfilling and successful marriages. A marriage where at least one partner desires sex has to include some form of sexual connection within realistic circumstantial parameters. But for that to happen, both partners need to be willing to talk honestly and take steps together to improve things. Anger doesn't work, pressure doesn't work, entitlement doesn't work. I pay the bills, so you should provide the sex. It's teamwork or nothing. So sit down with your wife face to face and have the conversation. Tell her the lack of sexual connection in your marriage is causing you to suffer greatly. Tell her you're willing to work on yourself and on the relationship, and that you're willing to support her through any difficulties she might have. Tell her that you love her and that you want your marriage to work. Tell her that you want to work on this as a team and ask her if she's willing to do the same. If she answers yes, then great. Consider sharing this video with her as a starting point for discussion. If she answers no, well then at least you know where you stand. Either way, sometimes the patterns are too entrenched or the pain too deep to fix on your own. So find a pro-sex therapist like me to guide you toward rebuilding intimacy in a way that lasts. You can book a session with me using the link in the description if you need some support. If you've made it this far, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Let me know about your situation, your struggles, or even what's helped you. If you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you did, then you might also enjoy this one where I discuss how to become a sexually generous wife. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. In the meantime, to yourself and to others, tell the truth.